Hi class, my name's Samantha and this is my biotechnology presentation. Going over CRISPR-Cas9, it's a type of gene editing that allows scientists to cut DNA in a specific location in the genome. This essentially allows scientists to replace faulty or mutated DNA with healthy DNA, and it's a huge breakthrough in curing genetic diseases. It is also currently the fastest, cheapest, and most effective type of gene editing. So going into some studies that have been done with CRISPR-Cas9 that can further curing genetic diseases. One in particular study on hypertrophic cardiopathy, which is also called HCM, which is a disease characterized by the thickening in the heart muscle. It's fairly common and it affects up to 500,000 Americans each year, and it's a common cause for sudden cardiac death, especially in young athletes. So HCM is caused by a mutation in the gene called MYBOC3, and this particular study used vitro fertilization to inject embryos with this MYBOC3 gene, and once the embryos were effectively had this mutation, scientists went in with CRISPR-Cas9 to try to remove the mutation. And out of the 58 embryos that were injected with the mutated gene, 42 came out completely repaired and cured of that mutation, which essentially would have cured the HCM. So that is a 72% success rate with that study alone, which is a huge success and a huge development in curing that particular genetic disease. Another study that I researched was conducted in Seoul. It was looking to cure obesity and diabetes, or just looking to come up with ways to minimize it or help people who have it, not necessarily a total cure. But the study was done on mice. These mice were obese mice, and they were, instead of using the traditional CRISPR-Cas9, they used a tweaked method called CRTSPRI. And with this method, instead of altering the genetic code permanently, it just interferes with gene expression by stopping the production of a certain protein. And in this study, the protein that was being impaired was a protein called FABP4, which is short for fatty acid binding protein, which is associated with the metabolism and fatty tissue. So once these mice were injected with a peptide targeting that protein, after 6 weeks of the treatments, the mice lost 20% of their body weight, which is a huge improvement. And with this study, it kind of just shows that CRISPR-Cas9 isn't only used with curing birth defects or mutations or just on embryos. It can also be helpful for fully grown adults, and there can be different kind of branches that scientists can use with this technology to come up with different solutions for not just genetic diseases, but something people kind of develop throughout their lifetime. So going into the ethics of CRISPR-Cas9, it's super controversial right now. It's banned in a lot of countries. People are really scared of it. In one article I was reading, a scientist was comparing it to how people feared the technology that was being invented with like atomic bombs. Like, that's how scared people are of it. People think it can really just cause a huge demise. I saw people saying that they think it can cause a lot more mutations than it can cure. And a lot of people are fearful of this idea of designer babies. And pretty much that is the idea that people are going to use this technology to create taller, smarter, more beautiful babies, and by picking out their traits essentially, which if this was a certainty that this would come out of this technology, then of course people have a right to be afraid of that, because that can be extremely damaging for our society to have this control of how every child can look like. I think it could eventually lead to certain traits going into extinction because they're not deemed as beautiful by the masses, and it just is a very unnatural idea. So yes, designer babies aren't good at all. People have the right to be scared of that, but that is just one small hypothetical result that can come out of the CRISPR-Cas9 technology. And right now, that's not something that scientists are really looking into. I mean, well, I'm sure there are people looking into it, but it shouldn't outshine all the great studies and improvements that scientists are making with genetic diseases, and it shouldn't stop scientists from continuing making these discoveries and essentially curing these diseases that are life-threatening, that have had really no big milestone improvements, or milestones which really haven't had any success rate with finding a cure till now, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I think that small fear of designer babies or the chances that could cause more mutations shouldn't stop the research of it, because there's so much more to come out of it. I think more people should be talking about it. I really didn't know much about it till this assignment, so hearing about it and learning about it, I think it's a really amazing tool, and I think it's a huge breakthrough in the community, and I really do hope that people's fear won't get in the way of it being further developed. And that's just kind of all I have for you guys today, so let me know what you think, and yeah, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.